Daniel stood alone in the cemetery early that morning as the cold air moved slowly around him. The place was silent except for distant birds and the soft sound of leaves touching the ground. In front of him was a clean white grave with fresh flowers placed carefully by the stone. The name on the grave belonged to his wife Anna. Daniel was a man known by many people. In the city, he was known as a millionaire who built businesses from nothing. People spoke about his success, his power, and his confidence. But standing there alone, none of that mattered to him anymore. He felt empty inside as he looked at the grave. Money could build tall buildings and buy comfort, but it could not bring his wife back. Anna had been his calm place in a loud world. Without her, everything felt heavy and slow. Daniel bent down and adjusted the flowers with care. He talked to the grave softly, as if Anna could hear him. He told her the house felt quiet without her voice. He told her he still woke up expecting her to be there. He told her he did not know how to live the same way anymore. Their marriage had not been perfect, but it had been full of respect and kindness. Anna had always smiled gently and listened more than she spoke. She loved helping others in quiet ways. She often said that kindness did not need noise. Daniel remembered how she would leave early some mornings. She always said she had small things to take care of. He never questioned her because he trusted her completely. Now those memories felt different in his mind. As Daniel stood up slowly, he noticed movement a few steps away. Two boys stood near another grave, watching him quietly. They looked around 8 and 10 years old. Their clothes were simple and slightly worn. Daniel felt confused because children rarely came to this place alone. The boys whispered to each other and slowly moved closer. Their faces showed no fear, only curiosity and sadness. The younger boy pulled on the older one's hand. He pointed toward Anna's grave. "Is that her?" he asked in a soft voice. The older boy nodded slowly. "Yes, that is Mom," he replied. The word stopped Daniel's breath. His heart began to beat faster as he turned toward them. He stared at the boys, unsure of what he had just heard. "I think you are mistaken," Daniel said calmly. "My wife is buried here, but she was not a mother," he added. The older boy stepped closer without hesitation. "She was our mom," he said again. "She told us not to call her that in front of others," he continued. Daniel felt his hands shake slightly. His wife had never spoken about having children. They had tried for years, but life had chosen another path for them. The younger boy looked up at Daniel. "She used to come every week," he said. "She brought food and clothes," he added. "She listened to us when no one else did." Daniel felt something tighten in his chest. Anna had always come home tired but peaceful. She had always smiled in a quiet way that now made sense. "Where did you meet her?" Daniel asked gently. The older boy pointed toward the road outside the cemetery. "There is an old home near the river," he said. "We stay there with other kids," he continued. "She found us when we were alone," he added. Daniel closed his eyes for a moment. Memories rushed through his mind without warning. Anna donating money quietly. Anna refusing public attention. Anna asking him to help small shelters instead of big projects. "She told us everyone deserves a family," the younger boy said. "She said family is built by love, not blood," he added. Daniel felt tears rise in his eyes, but he held them back. He had lived beside this woman for years, yet still did not fully know her. The truth felt painful but beautiful at the same time. The boys stood silently as Daniel looked back at the grave. For the first time since Anna passed away, he felt close to her again. It felt like she was guiding him even now. "She said you were a good man," the older boy said softly. "She said you just did not know everything yet," he added. Daniel looked down at the boys with a heavy heart. He saw honesty in their eyes. He saw no reason for lies. "Did she love you?" Daniel asked quietly. The boys nodded together. "Yes," they answered. Daniel took a deep breath. He realized that his wife had lived a life bigger than their home. She had given love where no one was watching. She had created family where there was none. The silence returned to the cemetery. But this time it did not feel empty. It felt meaningful. Daniel knew this meeting had changed him forever. And he knew his journey with these boys was only beginning. Daniel stood quietly for a long moment after the boys finished speaking. The air felt heavier than before, as if the truth had changed the space around them. He looked once more at Anna's grave, and then back at the two boys standing patiently. Daniel had always believed he knew his wife completely. They shared meals, dreams, and quiet evenings together. Yet now he realized that some of her most meaningful moments had happened without him. The boys waited without speaking. They were used to waiting. Life had taught them patience at an early age. Daniel cleared his throat slowly. "What are your names?" he asked gently. The older boy answered first. "My name is Sam," he said. "This is my brother Leo," he added. Daniel nodded softly. They are simple, strong names, he thought. Names that carried weight without needing attention. "Did Anna tell you about me?" Daniel asked. Sam nodded. "She said you were busy helping many people," he said. "She said you had a good heart but did not always see it yourself," he added. Daniel felt a small ache inside his chest. That sounded exactly like something Anna would say. Leo looked up at Daniel with wide eyes. "She said you smile less than you should," he said. "But she said you love deeply," he added. Daniel looked away for a moment. He had not expected a child to see him so clearly. "Why did you come today?" Daniel asked after a pause. Sam took a breath. "She told us if anything ever happened to her we should come here," he said. "She said this place would give us answers," he added. Daniel felt his legs grow weak. He slowly sat down on the bench near the grave. Everything felt like it was moving too fast. He asked them about the old home near the river. They explained how Anna used to visit them every week. She brought food, books, and warm clothes. She listened to their stories and fears. She stayed even when others left, Leo said. She helped us sleep when we were scared, he added. Daniel pressed his hands together. He imagined Anna sitting on old chairs listening quietly. He imagined her gentle smile as she spoke to the children. "Why did she never tell me?" Daniel asked softly. Sam shrugged. "She said some kindness grows better in silence," he replied. Daniel closed his eyes. Tears escaped without his control. He did not wipe them away. The boys did not move. They understood sadness well. After some time Daniel stood up slowly. He looked at the boys with care. "You should not be here alone," he said. "Let me take you back," he added. The boys looked unsure but not afraid. They trusted Anna's words. And Anna had trusted Daniel. They walked together toward Daniel's car. The road was quiet and lined with trees. Daniel drove slowly toward the river area. As they arrived, Daniel saw the old home. The building was worn and small. Paint peeled from the walls. Yet children's laughter could be heard from inside. A woman came out when she saw the boys. Her face showed relief and worry. She thanked Daniel for bringing them back safely. Daniel introduced himself calmly. The woman's eyes widened slightly when she heard his name. She recognized it from Anna's stories. "She spoke of you often," the woman said. "She trusted you deeply," she added. Daniel asked about the home and its struggles. The woman explained how funds were always short, how children came and went, how hope was sometimes thin. Daniel listened without interrupting. He had spent years in meetings and deals. Yet this conversation felt more important than all of them. Sam and Leo stood near Daniel quietly. They watched him carefully. They wondered if he would disappear like others. Daniel walked through the home. He saw small beds lined up closely. He saw drawings taped to walls. He saw hope trying to survive. He felt Anna's presence everywhere. In the calm order. In the quiet care. Daniel took a deep breath. This place will not struggle anymore, he said firmly. The woman looked shocked. The boys looked confused. Daniel continued. I will help maintain this home, he said. I will make sure these children are safe, he added. Sam's eyes filled with emotion. Leo smiled softly for the first time. Daniel knelt down in front of them. I do not know what the future holds, he said. But I promise you will not be alone, he added. The boys nodded slowly. Trust began to grow. As Daniel left the home later that evening, he felt different. The pain was still there, but it was no longer empty. Anna had left behind more than memories. She had left behind a mission. Daniel looked toward the river as the sun lowered. He knew this was only the beginning. Days passed after Daniel's visit to the old home near the river. Life outside moved as usual, but inside Daniel everything felt changed. He returned to his large house, but it no longer felt empty in the same way. Daniel walked through rooms that once felt silent and cold. Now memories of Anna filled each corner with purpose. He realized grief had not ended his story but redirected it. He began visiting the home near the river often. At first he came quietly without announcements. The children slowly became familiar with his presence. Sam and Leo waited for him every time. They watched his car arrive from the window. Their faces carried hope mixed with careful trust. Daniel sat with the children and listened. He heard stories of dreams, fears, and small victories. He learned how much attention meant more than gifts. He brought books, games, and food, but more importantly, he brought time. Anna had taught these children through her actions. Daniel was now learning the same lesson. The woman who managed the home spoke with Daniel often. She shared her worries about space supplies and safety. Daniel listened carefully without rushing solutions. He believed change should respect what already existed. He did not want to replace Anna's work but protect it. One evening Sam asked a question that stayed with Daniel. Will you stop coming one day? He asked quietly. Daniel looked at the boy seriously. No, he replied firmly. I am here to stay, he added. Leo smiled at those words. It was a small smile, but it carried trust. As weeks passed, Daniel noticed something else changing. He began to smile more. He began to sleep better. His work still existed, but it no longer controlled him. Meetings felt shorter. Decisions felt clearer. Daniel started using his influence carefully. He helped other small homes quietly just like Anna had done. He avoided attention and praise. One day Daniel brought Sam and Leo to his house. He wanted them to see where Anna had lived. He wanted them to feel included, not separate. The boys walked slowly through the house. They touched pictures and furniture carefully. They listened as Daniel shared stories about Anna. She liked simple things, Daniel said. She loved silence and honesty, he added. Sam looked at a photo of Anna smiling. She smiled the same with us, he said. Daniel felt warmth rise in his chest. For the first time grief felt shared, not lonely. As months passed, Daniel faced an important question. He realized helping from a distance was not enough. These children needed stability, not visits. Daniel spoke with the woman who ran the home. They discussed the future openly. They talked about long-term care and family bonds. Daniel returned home that night thoughtful and quiet. He sat in his room holding Anna's old scarf. He felt her presence strongly. He spoke aloud as if she were listening. I think this is what you wanted, he said softly. The next day Daniel invited Sam and Leo for a walk. They went to a quiet park near the river. The wind moved gently through the trees. Daniel stopped and looked at them carefully. There is something important I want to ask, he said. The boys listened closely. They sensed the seriousness in his voice. I know I am not your father by blood, Daniel said. But I care about you deeply, he added. I want to be part of your lives every day, he continued. Sam looked surprised. Leo held his breath. I want to give you a home with me if you want, Daniel said. The silence lasted only a moment. Then Leo stepped forward and hugged Daniel tightly. Sam followed slowly with tears in his eyes. You were already family, Sam said quietly. Daniel closed his eyes. Tears flowed freely without shame. From that day forward life changed again. The house once empty now filled with footsteps and laughter. Daniel adjusted his life willingly. He learned how to cook simple meals. He learned patience in new ways. He learned that love grows through presence. Sam focused on school with new confidence. Leo found joy in drawing and music. Daniel encouraged both without pressure. The home near the river remained open. Daniel ensured its strength quietly. Anna's work continued through action, not memory. One evening Daniel stood alone again at the cemetery. But this time he did not feel broken. He placed flowers gently on Anna's grave. Thank you, he said calmly. You showed me who I needed to become, he added. The wind moved softly around him. The silence felt peaceful, not empty. Daniel walked away knowing his life now carried meaning beyond wealth. And Anna's love lived on through the family she had created. Life slowly settled into a new rhythm inside Daniel's home. Morning light now entered rooms filled with movement and sound. Sam and Leo woke early for school and spoke about their plans with excitement. Daniel watched them from the kitchen as he prepared breakfast. He still felt surprised by how natural it all felt. What once seemed impossible now felt necessary. The boys adjusted to their new life step by step. They respected the house and the memories inside it. They spoke about Anna, often with warmth and gratitude. Daniel encouraged them to remember her freely. He never wanted her name to fade into silence. He wanted her kindness to remain alive through them. At school Sam began to improve steadily. His teachers noticed his focus and calm behavior. Leo discovered a strong love for drawing and music. Daniel attended school meetings and events without missing any. He listened more than he spoke. He learned how guidance worked better than control. The home near the river continued to grow stronger. Daniel provided support without changing its heart. The children there felt safe knowing someone cared quietly. One afternoon Daniel invited the woman who managed the home for dinner. She thanked him for his continued help. She said Anna would have been proud of him. Those words stayed with Daniel deeply. Pride mattered more now than profit. As time passed Daniel reduced his work hours. He chose moments over meetings. He chose presence over pressure. Evenings were spent sharing meals and stories. Sam talked about his dreams for the future. Leo showed his drawings with shy smiles. Daniel listened closely to both. He offered guidance without forcing expectations. He understood that love grows best without fear. One quiet night Daniel sat alone in the living room. He held an old photo of Anna smiling softly. He felt peace instead of pain. He spoke gently into the quiet space. They are safe, he said. They are growing, he added. The next day marked 1 full year since Anna passed away. Daniel decided to honor her in a way she would appreciate. He avoided attention and public gatherings. Instead he brought Sam and Leo to the river home. They carried boxes of books and supplies. They spent the day helping the younger children. Sam helped with reading sessions. Leo shared his drawings with others. Laughter filled the space once again. Daniel watched quietly from a distance. He saw Anna's spirit reflected in their actions. He realized legacy was not built through names but through lives touched. Later that evening they visited the cemetery together. Sam and Leo stood respectfully beside Daniel. They placed flowers carefully on the grave. Sam spoke first with calm respect. "Thank you for loving us," he said softly. Leo added his own words with honesty. "You gave us family," he said. Daniel felt emotion rise but he remained steady. He placed his hand gently on the stone. "We are together now," he said. The wind moved gently through the trees. The silence felt comforting. As they walked away, Daniel felt complete. Not because pain was gone, but because love had grown stronger than loss. Years later, Daniel would look back on that moment. He would remember the day grief turned into purpose. He would remember how Anna's kindness shaped his path. Sam grew into a confident young man. Leo continued to express himself through art. Both carried gratitude in their hearts. Daniel remained present through every stage. He guided without controlling. He loved without condition. The world still saw him as a millionaire. But inside his home he was simply family. And that was the greatest success of his life.